we're going live now.
Hi, welcome to Tap In Tuesdays with Kametra, my bi-weekly podcast show where we tap into the life of, this successful people and their journey and how they're tapping into others and topics around the world today. And we just get all in their business. We tap all into their business, but no, how they became successful. And this week, my special guest, if you could hear the music in the background, she goes by the name of Bree Jolie. Welcome to Tap In Tuesdays with Kametra.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, what we're going to do is if you hear that music playing, that's her beautiful voice. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah.
That is called the Christmas song. You know, it's, we're almost near Christmas. She's made a wonderful song, and we're going to tap into that in a little bit. And we're going to learn a lot about her. I have a lot of questions for her today.
Ooh, and I have a lot of answers.
Because I like singing. I can't sing very well, but I do like singing. She has a beautiful voice. I like the song Truth Is, by the way. She has a couple of hits out there. And we're going to tap in to know how she got started on this journey. A lot of people may be interested in becoming singers, and she actually has videos out there and actually have nice songs. So we want to tap into the beginning of your journey real quick. She started with Kanye West, or she sung with Kanye West Sunday service, danced with the Debbie Allen Academy.
Yes.
I'm right with that.
Yes.
Kids for Care.
Kids Who Care.
Kids Who Care.
Yes.
Okay, Kids Who Care. So we're going to tap into all that real quick. I'm going to let her talk to you all because I have a question for her.
Oh, yeah.
How did this start for you? Take us down your journey.
This started with my beautiful angel, my mother. She pushed me to do everything that I'm doing right now. So I'm forever indebted for just her willingness to expose me to anything and everything as a child. Okay. So she started by teaching me a Whitney Houston song. Now, my mother was not a singer. Okay. She grew up singing in church, and you know, she did that type of thing, but she wasn't really into music. But she knew her music though.
Right,
so she taught me Whitney Houston, Greatest Love of All, right?
Whitney, the voice.
Yeah, the voice of our generation.
Right.
So she taught me that song and bought me the sheet music for it. And took me to my first audition. And
what was that?
Neither of us knew, really what was to come.
Okay. Out of this?
And it was my first audition with Kids Who Care, which was kind of my first huge community theater.
Is that here in Dallas?
It's in Fort Worth.
Where are you from?
So I was born in Fort Worth. And I've lived all over Fort Worth. I've lived in Dallas.
Here.
DFW is just my home. So I've been all over the place. But that was my first huge thing. She introduced me to that. And from there, it kind of just catapulted into all these different opportunities for me to sing and dance and act and travel and meet all these great people. So
you're multi-talented. You have many gifts.
She's the triple threat.
And shout out to Bobby and D-Lo, who's here today. Shout out to them.
Yes.
And I know they have questions too. And tap in anytime y'all get ready. Y'all know we all together with this. So let me ask you a question. You said you mentioned the kids. I was going to say the greatest love of all, but I'm going to get to that. Mm-hmm. You mentioned the kids who care.
Kids Who Care.
Kids Who Care. Okay. And that was that a theater?
It was a musical theater company.
Okay.
And so that was really kind of where I got my first type of training from.
Okay.
Right.
And I spent a lot of my years there.
Tell the people how young you were doing.
Yeah, how old were you?
Yeah, I was probably about 5 or 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were singing The Greatest Love of All?
Yes.
Come on, talent.
Yes. Yes.
I know. She said, yeah. Because the reason I say that is because everyone cannot sing a Whitney Houston song.
My mom had me belting as a child.
That's why she be singing so strong now.
If social media was around, it would be crazy.
We gonna sing this Whitney Houston song. My baby got this.
Yeah. Shoot for the stars, Mom.
Right. Shout out to Mama. Tell us a little bit about Mama. Talk to me about
My mom is not my angel, my late mother. I actually lost her to the big C about 2 years ago. And, and
but she's with you in spirit.
She is with me in spirit. I am literally her, and
I'm quite sure she's proud of you.
Man, I hope so. Everything I do is for her.
Okay,
Everything.
that's good.
Because she was the one who really,
Started it all.
started
saw the
it
gift.
all. So
Absolutely.
I owe her everything. So yeah, my mom, she was a great person. Just very charismatic, and she was like, I didn't get the opportunity to do this stuff, so she made it happen for me.
She planted that seed.
Yes.
Okay.
she did.
And you would have
we're
loved
watching it.
her. She
Yeah.
was a woman of faith. Like,
That's
Woman of
good.
faith.
Yeah. What
You know.
faith? What denomination? I'm curious.
She was Christian, but she grew up.
Okay.
Her father was a minister, and my
PK
grandma.
kid. That makes
Yeah,
sense. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Shout out to the PK kid.
But they were like, no extracurricular activities. Back then, it was a little tougher.
Different. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But when she started her own life, she made her own decisions, and it trickled down to me, and she really wanted me to go for those things because she couldn't. And now my grandmother sees it, and she's like, but she didn't know.
Not so
the
much
grandma
as being
Koji.
famous, just wanting you to utilize your gift.
Nanny is Koji.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, Kojic. Shout out to Church of God in Christ.
Yes, I grew up Kojic.
Speaking of Kojic, okay. So how do they feel about your music? Are they supportive? Nothing against Kojic, but you know how y'all can be sometimes.
But they probably, they support from the background. They don't really say much, but I know they see it. Yeah, it's okay.
Well, you can't hide talent too. And good music is good music. I have to say that
you can't box in music. Like music is
greatness.
So vast.
Yes, it is. Because I love jazz.
And some of the best musicians come from gospel and gospel music.
They do. I sung in the choir too, but I love jazz.
Yeah,
I like your music. I like R&B. I like.
Yeah,
I just like music.
Yeah,
I like hip hop. I like to dance. I just like music.
Me too.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love it all.
Right. So let's go on this journey with you.
Yes.
Okay. So after you left the theater, what was next for you? Because you're relatively young.
Yes, I am.
And you've done a lot in such a short period.
So much. And I'm so grateful. Kids Who Care lasted from probably when I was about 6 years old to high school.
Okay.
And I even did it a couple of years while I was in college. But when me and Lo met, after high school, I did the Vesper Choir. At UAPB, which is my alma mater.
Shout out to HBCU.
Yes. HBCU life.
Shout out.
So grateful for my HBCU.
Smart. So you're smart too.
Listen, we gotta stay educated.
Okay.
The girl is sharp.
Right.
The girl is sharp.
Look at you. You got your degree?
Yes, ma'am. Mass communications and broadcast journalism.
So we were the same major.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say this, and then we'll get back on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this because you got your degree. That's another gift. You said communication, right? Journalism. Yes. So you're utilizing that gift. Yes. Even though you knew you could sing, you just didn't stick with that. Good for you.
Yes.
So good for you. Tell us. Okay, finish. I'm gonna let you finish, but I was that impressed.
Well, basically, it's crazy because she's using her degree now with her artistry. Yes. Like she has to be her own PR woman.
It really comes in handy.
So all that was not in vain.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And I remember kind of feeling that way, like at a certain point, after college, everyone's looking for the best job in their field, but they didn't tell us that it wasn't going to be.
You were going to be broke.
Right.
That
you would be broke doing it. Or
she was going to go into radio.
Yes.
You would radio. I could see you doing that.
And I did it in college and it was great. It was like amazing. But once I started doing my own little research, not deterring anyone who wants a radio career.
Yeah.
But it just
wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me. And I'm like, I can utilize this somewhere along down the line. We're doing it now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It all worked out for you good.
It all comes full circle and nothing is ever in vain. I try to remind myself of
Absolutely
that every day. Nothing is ever in vain. It might come 5-7 years from now. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I remember when that happened in 2020. And now it all makes sense.
And don't you be like, I prayed for that a long time ago.
Yep.
And you forget that prayer, and then there it is, and you're like, I prayed for that like 5 years ago. And then you forget. Oh, yeah, and you go back.
Yes. Yes. That works. So,
So after UAPB, and you get your degree.
Yes.
What was next for you?
LA was next.
She wasn't letting anything stop her from moving to LA.
No.
Okay. Back up.
No.
So I got my degree, and you still wanted to sing, of course.
Yeah. Well, yes, I wanted to do. I just have always loved LA. Debbie Allen was a part of my life growing up, and that's how I got introduced to LA.
So okay, back up a little bit.
We gotta
didn't get to that part of the journey.
So Debbie Allen, I did her summer intensive. She used to do intensives here in Texas.
I did not know that.
Yes, she used to.
Debbie Allen did intensives right here
because you know she's from Houston.
I do know that.
So she's a Texas girl. She's a Texas woman.
So, but how did you hear about it? Was it advertised?
It was a community thing. My mom, she works downtown Fort Worth, so it was always kind of like a buzz. People find out, and she was kind of in that world. So somebody told her about it, and I did that for several summers growing up. And
how was that working with Debbie?
It was great. I remember.
Because I'm a big fan of hers from Fame.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
And my mom always introduced me to that movie.
I loved Fame growing up.
I've met a lot of people, but Debbie Allen by far had to, that was the best experience. I was probably 8 or 9.
Chelsea. That's what she named
Right.
me.
So
shout out to Debbie Allen.
Yes, she awarded me a scholarship. A tap scholarship.
Oh wow!
Yeah, the girl know how to tap dance too.
Yes, that's how I got to LA.
Wait a minute, you know how to tap dance?
Yes, I'm a little rusty. I really need to get back out here.
So we can sing, we can tap dance,
yes.
we can write. Shout out to the writers because I'm an author, so I love that. Shout out to the writers.
Yes, writing is a big part of communication.
Right, and so. Back up now.
Yes.
So now how old are you?
So at this point, when I get the scholarship, I had probably been in Debbie Allen for a couple of summers at that point. So I was probably about 12 or 13. And one of my friends from Kids Who Care had actually moved to LA. She had been out there, and her parents are like, yeah, Chelsea can come stay at our house for the summer and do the intensive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did the tap intensive. And so I did that. I went out to LA by myself. My mom flew out there with me. She dropped me off.
Mama was.
She was hustling.
Well,
okay,
when I tell you, Mama saw the vision.
Flew back out there.
Mama saw the vision before you even saw the vision.
Right.
Mama was like, "Look, I'm tapping into everything."
Yes.
Wow. So you get to LA now.
I get to LA. I do the tap intensive. I love LA just because of I'm young at the time, but it just to have movie stars, kids that I'm dancing with, and just everything. So it was amazing. And I did that for a few summers. So that's how I got introduced to LA. And, that type of thing. So after college, boom, I'm like, whatever, I'm going to LA. The summer prior to me graduating, I went out there and stayed with a friend. It kind of just got acquainted and then went back, graduated. And then I had a plan and it failed. I was like, okay.
That's okay.
So, you always got to kind of have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G.
Okay.
So
but it's still going to be plan A.
Let me ask you real quick when the plan failed, okay?
Yeah.
At that moment when your plan failed, were you discouraged and wanted to come back to Texas, or were you like, I'm just going to keep going?
So I was in Texas at the moment. That's the thing. So right after graduation, I came back to Texas.
Okay.
And I was staying with my mom.
Okay.
And I'm so grateful for that time. We all needed a break after college. That's a lot. People don't realize.
But my mama was rushing the hell out of me. She was like, nigga, get a job.
Don't get lazy. I remember sleeping for weeks on end after graduating.
Being depressed though. And it's also depressing.
Honestly, just a little tidbit. We need to start offering counseling after college and therapy. No, seriously,
because you just think that you're going to graduate from college and then I'm going to get a job. No, it's not. That's not the way.
They'd be like, we need 10 years experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't for me, but I got what I needed to get from it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
It's really going to be interesting seeing now the times everyone's learning virtually and is college even still as important?
Yeah,
but the thing about it is too, it's so freaking expensive.
That too.
Just to be wasting your time. Yeah. My mom, she's going back to get her degree now, and I'm just kind of
hey, mama, getting your degree now.
Go ahead, black woman. Go ahead. I'm not gonna tell you not to.
I went back. I didn't know I knew how to write. Like I told you until what my late 30s. I went back to school. So it's about timing. But at the same time, it's not for everybody. That's why I don't pressure people into doing it. And she discovered she had many different gifts. Well, she knew she could tap. You knew you could sing.
Yes. And I kind of sprinkled that in college. Like it was there. Like it's really crazy there that so much talent came out of UAPB.
It did.
Okay.
And like and we were there for a reason because
D-Lo, we were working like, for NBC, all that. Becoming an anchor. I was so impressed when he told me that.
But it's not only that, TT, it's just like the creative community like that guy was doing at that moment at UAPB. We didn't even realize how big that was going to be like
right
outside of when we left. Because like on her project From Me to Me that is out, make sure y'all go get that. Stream by please.
Say it again.
From Me to Me.
From Me to Me. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's a song.
That's my EP.
No, that's
we're gonna get to that.
We'll get to that. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
But no, I was just saying that, like, you know, a lot of times we really can't say that our college experience was in vain because it's like what we're doing professionally now, we're working with people that we went to school with. Right. And like that are professionals in the music industry. So
Right. Yeah.
And I mean like professionals
and it's
like
so full circle. It's beautiful.
Everybody got big name credits behind them.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes, in life, you do go to college. That is what your parents want you to do. I do. I like the fact that my daughter is in college. But sometimes you really, you get what you get from it, and then you kind of find something else about yourself, another gift.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, okay? Mm-hmm. You've worked with Debbie Allen by now. Are you even 20?
Yeah. So when I moved to LA, we're 22? Okay. 22 at the time.
So what made you move back to Texas? Because it didn't go as planned?
Well, so after college, I was in Arkansas. So it just, it was Christmas break. It was all holidays. So I came straight back home. Okay. And ended up staying a little longer. So I'm like,
because she wanted to go to LA like
right after. Okay. Yeah. And so once it didn't work out, I was like, okay, so I have to think about how I'm going to make this work for myself. And I know my mom's looking at me like,
Child.
Right. You need
to get okay. Well, I guess so she suggested, you should start applying for the government because she worked for. I'm like, girl, I'm not doing any of that. Okay, I'm thinking of the master plan.
You done had me dancing for Debbie Allen. Now you expect me to go get a government job?
You got me singing Whitney, and you want me to go work for the government? Come on, mama.
Sis. So, it was like I got to figure out what I'm gonna do. So I still ended up moving, and I was like, oh, I will figure it out. I flew, me and my dog, we hopped on a plane.
The dog.
Yeah, me and Jada.
So you have you have some courage there.
Oh yeah. It was
But that journey wasn't easy. That journey was not easy at all. It was
either you stay
to be that young
and work for the government.
And or anything that makes you unhappy. You know what I'm saying? And at this point I'm like, I know I'm not gonna be happy here.
Yeah.
So it's just like I have to make this decision and I have to work for it. And baby, it was work. Oh, that first year was depressing.
What? Okay.
Everybody said that about LA. They first year they'd be like, "Are you okay?"
Well, because I think that people don't understand. They just think I'm a fly to LA. I want to do this. I'm gonna get the record contract. I want to be an actress. I'm gonna be in that movie. It's that, but that's not the story. So I'm glad you brought that up. So what is the story when you get to LA? It was a struggle for you?
I will say it was a struggle because I still, when you're not aligned and you're not really walking in your purpose, nothing is really gonna go how you want it to go. So I was figuring it out, and I was 22, so I had time to figure it out. But it was just like trying to find a job that would actually
because you have a good looking resume.
Yes, that would actually get me. What I'm saying. That I would be able to have an apartment in LA. The cost of living alone is
ridiculous.
It's very, it's
extremely
ridiculous.
high.
So,
right.
I went through that. I went through all these, up and down jobs. I worked for, more than I was not paid enough. Overworked and underpaid is the phrase that they say.
So let me ask you a question because I know that's discouraging.
Yeah,
but. What made you, I have to ask this, what made you keep going? Were you like, I'm not going back home this time.
Yeah.
I'm just going, okay.
I can't go back. I can't home go back. Is not an option for me. That was my thing.
Wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you, I have to ask this. So now when was the moment where you were like, okay, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel? When was that?
When I got my own apartment.
Okay, so now you're like, I'm meant to be here. Okay, that's what I was.
Yes.
That's what I was
Yes,
wondering.
that's what.
So you like,
because I'm like, God, I know you didn't bring me out here
Yeah,
just for me.
we
to
do have those
be
conversations.
doing all of this and not getting anywhere. I got so many no's. When I tell you, I could go back to my Indeed account right now. And I had applied to over 100 jobs, and probably 70% of them I never heard back from anyone. You know what I'm saying? Or
the job market out there in LA is extremely hard.
I was going to ask you, how is the job market?
Awful.
Yeah, it's
unless
they don't have a lot of businesses or a lot of entertainment.
Well, it's just a lot of people there. Like it's millions and millions.
The talent pool for everything is just very, very deep. Very, very big. So, it takes a little longer. I'm trying to find things within my major. I'm like looking for babysitting jobs. I'm looking for temp jobs.
So this is how I want to go to this though, because this is a really good tap in. So you did get employed.
Yes.
Like you had a good job at Enterprise.
Right.
Enterprise. So finally, after job searching, my mom was like, you need to work at Enterprise. And she had been pressuring me to work at Enterprise for a minute. Yes, but it has benefits. It's the most stable job you could ever have, especially at that age. They love fresh college graduates. So finally I applied at Enterprise, and I still remember my first interview. The lady was like, I need you to commit to this job for at least 3 years. And in my head, I was like,
blah.
Right.
I won't be here for 3 years. You were like,
little do you know, my purpose is not to be here for 3 years. Right.
And I remember it during that job, it was one of the hardest and really one of my first real jobs. Like, I worked at Kids Who Care because they offered us jobs, back then when we were 16, they just wanted us to start working and teaching us those leadership skills. Right. But that was like my first real job, but it would always be something to lead me back to my purpose. Like, I would meet people, I would drop people off and pick them up, and it would be like a talent agent or someone who works at a label, or it would always be something like that. And then one day I remember singing, so many signs. I remember singing happy birthday for a customer at Enterprise one day. My manager asked me to do it. They had never heard me sing, but they always heard me talking about, what I wanted to do. So I did it. And I remember him being like, why do you work here? And that was the day I was like, okay.
Yep.
This is not it.
Yeah.
This is not it.
This is just not it.
Yeah.
Like those signs. Yeah.
Yeah. And not that I'm too good, and not that I'm too good for it, but it's just like, this is not a part of it.
It did. Well, I'm gonna say this. It was for a purpose for that time.
Yes.
You needed your apartment.
But what's crazy is, let me tell you about this little fiery woman right here. So fast forward to when you actually started booking, because that first gig that she got was a really great gig.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna ask her, because in my head when she's talking, I'm thinking, did you ever think to reach out to Debbie Allen or any? So she gave you a whole scholarship.
Yes. At that point, dance was a little bit more removed from my life. Once you get the degree, and mama's like, okay, you didn't go to college for nothing. So it's not like you're gonna. So
that makes sense. Okay. So now you're driving and you're meeting people.
Yes, I'm meeting people. Okay. I live there. I'm working there for almost 12 hours a day. So finally, I get an opportunity. Well, I was working like a small PR job, and it was like a music
communications.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Using your degree.
And so then they found out I could sing. And so it was a corporate like wedding gig and like all these type of gigs, agency. And they used to hire and outsource singers, musicians, all types of stuff. So
gotcha.
I started singing with them a little bit, and then maybe not too long after that, I get an opportunity to join a singing group called The Sound. And we go to this audition. It's at Disneyland. There are several groups auditioning. Anyways, we booked the job. It's a holiday gig. Where we're singing from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day.
But it's a gig. It's a job.
That girl loves singing.
I'm also working at Enterprise at the same time.
So
there were days where I would call out. I thought of every excuse in the book. I remember Googling excuses. Like it was awful. It got to the point like my
Googling
room
excuses not to go to work.
Yeah, it's
wow.
just and it just,
I mean, she was going to work, but it was for her dream, so she was like trying.
Well, she was right. Yeah. I probably would have did the same thing.
Yeah, I went to an audition on my lunch break one day because I was just like this. And the crazy part is that audition. I probably would have booked it. And I was so tired from working my day job that I missed the email. I missed the email that comes to the callback.
Oh, wow.
And when I tell you, I cried the whole next day at work. I did not want to be there. I was like, it's this job's fault that I didn't book that job.
Right, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to be here.
Man, it was,
I love how honest you are because you are painting the picture, like I said, tapping into your journey and you're telling us the hardships.
Step by step. You know, you climb a little, you get knocked down.
Yeah.
So finally, when I'm like, okay, Enterprise, this is a lot. You know, I'm working at Disney off and on. Right. You know, I'm getting 2 checks. Everything's good. Like
it's going good.
I was able to fly my mom out at that time. She came. Okay. She was able to see me in my shows at Disneyland. So that was amazing. So I'm still working at Enterprise and I'm finally just like, okay, I'm fed up. My mom is sick. I'm traveling back and forth, helping take care of her. So it was just like, I want to do something that makes me happy. And my mom, like, you know, we had a conversation not too long before she transitioned, and that's really what sealed the deal for me. I was like, I have to make this decision.
Right.
And so, you know, my mom transitioned and I could have been down. Like it was probably one of the darkest times of my life. But I was like, she wouldn't want me to do this.
Yeah.
She wouldn't want you to grieve that long. Because she planted that seed and she wanted you to move forward. And you knew that about your mom. That you had that relationship with her.
I saw her lose people.
And keep moving.
And that lady, when I tell you, she was strong, maybe an inch taller than me. We're sitting down, so you can't really tell.
Right, because she's a little tiny.
I am a little mama, and my mom was probably like an inch or 2 taller than me, maybe. And she used to be like, "I'm taller than you," and I was like, "Girl, we are the same height."
I saw your video. I was like, "Okay, I see you, Breeze Jolie the Stallion." Then I see you in person. I'm like, she's this little.
Yeah. With those angles, though. Okay? Those angles.
She's like, I see her. I was like, she's tiny.
Yeah. So after that, it was just like, okay, Enterprise, you're done.
Okay, so you leave Enterprise now.
Enterprise, my mom.
Holla. So now everything's going good,
everything's cool. I'm chilling one day.
Mom transitioned while you were in LA.
Yes.
So so you got to fly back to Texas.
She was living in DC at the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yes. So you got to fly to DC.
I was DC, Texas, LA for a minute.
Oh,
so
wow.
Finally, I'm back in LA. I'm, taking a break from just, everything.
Yeah, because they had to be really hard on you to lose mom.
It was.
I mean, she the only child, so it was like, and not even like just within emotional stuff, but like everything, real grown up decisions.
So many decisions, planning, arrangements,
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, so it was
arrangements and everything.
I don't, that was just. I feel like God.
Strong.
Yeah,
you're strong.
God built me for that moment. I didn't know it would happen that soon, but. It was only because of him that I got through that.
Amen.
So, I'm driving in my car randomly one day. My friend calls me. She's like, "Hey, there's this guy, Jason White. He's looking for people for a choir."
Okay.
I'm gonna give you his number. He'll call you. So I'm like, cool. So he calls me. He's like, "Hey, we have rehearsal at so-and-so time. I need you to fill out this form, show up at this time."
So you knew nothing about Jason White? You don't know where he's from? You don't know?
I am a church girl, but I did not really know about Jason.
Okay, because who is Jason White?
Jason White is like a choir master, a musician,
is he known nationally or just in the LA area?
He is.
Okay.
I mean, but mostly in the LA area, but he is world renowned.
Okay.
So, boom, I get
choir
that call.
Master.
Yeah, just a master of his music.
Okay.
He's
Jason
White.
Okay, shout out Jason
piano
White.
and organ for years.
Okay.
And he's also a vocal contractor. So like when you see those people like on The Voice and all the other stuff,
so
he's like over there.
He has his own company where he contracts vocalists, some of the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how did he hear about you?
My friend Tiffany referred me to this gig.
Networking. Come on.
Yeah, and
friends, looking out for friends. Okay.
Yes, gotta look like. And I'm thankful. The reason I'm here is because of Lo. So we're thankful for friends because they always,
he always looking out for each other.
Gems. So
he does. He's great.
Boom,
he's great.
He's like, he's just casually talking, and then he like drops who it's for. And I'm like,
so who was it for?
so Kanye West. And I was like, okay.
So by now you're thinking what? You're like,
I'm like,
are
what
you
is
serious?
this? Yeah. So I'm just like,
Soon after your mom passed?
yes, and it's
Oh,
really crazy
wow.
because I remember I was at the dinner table with one of my former friends. We both used to work at Enterprise. We had dinner, and I was like, "Yeah, my friend was telling me about this gig that she's doing, and it's like super secretive, and like she wasn't even really telling me about it."
Okay.
Then boom, a week later, I get that call, so I was like, "Okay, wow."
Okay.
Show up at the rehearsal, and then from then on was my journey with Sunday service.
Okay.
And so grateful for that journey.
Let me. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Okay. So, did you audition for?
No, I did not audition.
You did.
No, it was only by referral. So it was like
Wow.
basically.
So they already knew you could sing, and they knew they wanted you.
Yes? Question
What
mark.
a compliment.
So you just got to come in there and work your
You
stuff.
just got to come in there and be ready, because Jason is the type of person where if you ain't ready,
yeah. He's a
It's a
professional
wrap.
musician,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
he only wants professional musicians.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're like, okay, you find out it was for Kanye West.
And
you
that-
didn't tell anybody.
No,
No one knows.
At that time, I didn't. I couldn't, and it was really like still a very fresh
Okay.
thing. Like we didn't know where it was going. It wasn't the big,
what it is
changing
now.
movement that it is now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. So they send you, do they email you? Do they call you? Do they text you? They just tell you to be here at this place?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You just gotta be
don't
ready.
know.
You have someone who
You don't know what it
just gotta
is.
be ready.
Yes.
That's
so
how
for
LA.
those who really want this, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
You got to be ready.
You got to be ready
At all
Any
times.
moment.
at all times.
At all times.
Mhm.
You got to
Yes.
stay ready.
Yes. Yes. And,
Okay,
And
so-
especially now, like with social media and stuff,
Right.
it's supposed to be a platform for us to, have fun,
Yeah.
take pictures,
Mhm.
maybe post this and that.
Yeah,
But now
I
it's
was
more
gonna
of
ask
like
you about that.
an online resume. Like, so it is important the things that you put out is really, reflecting who you are. Because Jason, he probably wouldn't ever admit it, but I'm sure he went on my Instagram and was like, let me make sure.
I was gonna ask you, because
Yeah.
that's like, okay, they just know you can sing.
Yeah, but
No,
they
you definitely, like, especially like in LA, they want to see your talent like on the page. Like they
Gotcha.
want to hear that you can sing. They don't.
Gotcha.
They don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't have to come in and audition. We can look at it and see.
Yeah.
I mean, they still gonna want you there. Don't get it
Yeah.
twisted.
So let me ask you. So they tell you the location. You go
Yeah.
there.
So it went.
You
from
already
week-
knew it was for Kanye West. So you're
Yes.
like, okay.
Yeah.
So were you starstruck? I'm curious.
I was not starstruck because at this
She don't
point,
get starstruck.
Some
Yeah.
people do.
She
some
know.
people do.
She don't get
Yeah.
starstruck by
You know they
anybody.
do.
I have
I'm
a
quite sure.
list of people that I would like. Literally, if I saw them, I maybe would shed a tear.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I have a tear. Okay. But you'll
a
be
little
like,
tear.
"Damn, you're such and such. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you weren't starstruck.
You
okay.
got to be professional, and
Right.
just really like it could be. It's just a gig at this point.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Now it's a gig, but that did start a lot for you.
Yes,
That right there
It
was an
did.
open door for you. Let me say
Yes.
that. Okay.
Yes.
So I have to ask you this once, because you do see people on TV, we don't know the personal side of the artist. We know what we see, what's in front of us.
Yes.
So how was it working with Kanye?
He is an amazing artist. Of course, like we keep it professional. It's a job at the end of the day. So,
Right.
We're not buddy and like, but
Absolutely.
Kanye takes good care of his people.
Okay.
And he's a very passionate person, passionate artist. Anything he touches is just like his own thing.
Okay.
And it's just beautiful art. And
Okay.
it goes beyond just rap, clearly
Yeah.
because of Sunday
Right,
service.
right.
And he's an amazing producer, designer, like, and it is just good to see him work. He honestly inspired me with my own personal music and my own personal endeavors as an artist because
Okay.
it's kind of like he puts his foot down and he knows what he wants and it happens and it's great. So I'm learning that in my own personal journey, like,
Right.
I have a vision and I can do it.
Okay.
So let's get it done.
So good. That's good to hear
Yeah.
from someone who actually worked with him. Like I said, you hear so many things
Yes.
about an artist, and you really don't know them. You just know their music.
But
You
it's
don't
just
know
like
them on the
everyday
personal
people.
side.
People
Right.
are going to talk.
Yeah,
people
exactly.
see you, somebody's probably talking about me right now.
They probably are.
They're right.
They probably look. They
So-
probably are. You can tap into
and
this
I'm
stuff.
not, and I'm not a Kanye, so
right.
but
I'm quite
so
sure they are about me,
he's
but
everyday person,
right,
everyday person. He just has a platform.
So what year? When was that? Were you the first set of the Sunday
yes,
service?
I was
the
part
original.
Of,
okay,
the original crew, and
okay.
It's just been great to see how many lives that this movement has touched.
Yeah, it has.
The places that we've been, it's touched my life. I was coming out of a hard time.
Yeah,
literally,
her mom
Right.
just
Look how
died.
God just opened that door for you.
He did, and he brought me back to my roots. That's
yeah,
and that's what I was most happy about when I really look back and look at that time. It was like, I'm gonna put you here, and you're just gonna fall deeper into your purpose, but also see me through all of this.
Yeah.
So
and how you healed and you were grieving, and at that same time he opened that door for you, and you're like, look
you're
at
gonna
this.
heal. You're gonna heal.
Yeah, and you
well.
healed at the same time. Mm-hmm. That's an amazing journey. Okay, so let's tap into a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
So after Kanye, because you obviously you left, right?
Well,
the Sunday service.
Well, when the pandemic hit, Sunday service is still, we
going
are
on.
still a group.
Okay.
And
so are you still there?
Yeah. Well, we've been working here and there. During the pandemic. Keeping it safe and, trying to do little things here and there. But it's really hard to produce any live entertainment. And the entertainment industry is kind of really on a rocky boat right now.
Right. Just at a standstill, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, this upcoming year, things will pick up again.
Okay. So are you gonna go back and sing with them?
If definitely.
So you're like, I'm gonna do my own thing and I'm gonna do this.
Yes, and that's important. And a lot of the individuals who are in the choir do that. There are some talented
artists
absolutely,
in that choir, extremely talented people in that choir.
I have to ask you this before we move on, though. Have any of you, because they are talented, and I've listened to the music.
Yeah.
They are it's a talented group.
Yeah.
Do you ever, I know this probably crossed your mind, do you ever just want to allow him to hear your music? Has he heard your music? I'm curious.
You never know.
He probably done already heard.
When you put your music out, and you never know, it could circle back. So it's funny because my grandmother asks me the same question.
I was curious.
Well, did you let Kanye hear your music? And I'm like, Granny, I can't walk up to him and be like, here's my music.
Right.
I know you want.
I would love to.
Yeah.
But
of course,
if that chance ever comes, definitely that would be an amazing moment. But I work for myself, and it's different jobs. So that's one of my jobs, and my other job is Brie Jolie.
Right.
Make sure that gets off the ground, and that I'm still
and let's talk about
I was just gonna say, let's tap into
Brie Jolie. That's what I was just about to tap in, because now we know where your humble beginnings started.
But what's crazy is a lot of people don't realize what goes into being a professional artist.
Right.
And so she sung with Disney and she's done The Voice.
And we didn't even tap into Disney. Like I said, her resume is so long and she's not even 30. She's not even 30, y'all. Like, I'm impressed.
Woo, I'm so ready to keep going
Disney. Y'all.
Yeah. But Brie, how is that journey has been as a brand and just as a solo professional music artist now?
I feel like it took a lot of soul searching for me. I had to commit. I had to make sure that I was.
Who phone is dead?
Tapping in.
You in time out.
I know in the hotline.
I'm out of
line.
Hey.
But just once I made that decision to tap in and really commit, it just kind of launched from there. And this one, Lo over here, has been my right hand throughout this all, because we really
shout out to Lo.
I will always remember this moment when we first he always put me on music, let's just say that. But he put me on Thinking About You by Frank Ocean, right? So we're freshmen in college. It's probably late at night. It's raining. We're in his car just listening to music.
Probably
He's like, I want
smoking.
you to hear this song. And when
He
I tell
probably was
you, we
smoking.
played that song out. And that was really when we were like, we really started kind of
So can y'all sing Thinking About You?
We can.
Yeah,
We can.
yeah,
Let me hear
yeah.
a little bit of Thinking
That's
About
not our
You.
go-to though.
Right.
Okay, what's the go-to? What's the go-to? Let's go to the
Go
song.
ahead
Let me
and
hear a
start
little
it
bit.
out.
What's the go-to? Because and then I'm gonna tap into your music as well.
Yeah.
Because you have, like I said, you have a long resume. I'm really impressed. God
Thank
has really
you.
blessed you and favored you.
Thank you.
And to see your determination, your resume is extremely long and very impressive.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I mean, you have the best over here with Lo.
Yeah.
He has taught me a lot too.
Yeah.
I do want to. Yeah,
cry.
you have your own music going on. Love the Christmas music, the Christmas song. I'm gonna get into that.
Yes.
You have Truth Is.
Yes.
Yes.
And Truth Is. Tell me a little bit about Truth Is.
So that's our baby.
That's what I want y'all to do.
Yes.
I like this. I like Truth Is. Just for all the viewers who are watching, y'all have to go and listen to it.
Please
I like
step
this
into that song. It is
I
now.
never wanted you.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe it's about to be 1 year old soon.
Oh my
Is it
God.
Yes. Yes.
So y'all collabed with Truth Is.
Yes, we did.
That was our first musical collaboration.
He's
Your
a worldwide traveler. So this is when he was in LA with me, and he heard this beat, and he sings this hook, and he sung the verse and the hook. And if y'all know Lo, he's a very it's genuine and it's very outspoken and it's edgy.
Yeah,
I feel like
words.
I'm edgy too, but he's like, this is me and I'm gonna put it out and I don't care. Right. It's my art. And I love that.
Yeah.
He pushes me to really just like get in my bag and really, be Brie Jolie and really tap in.
Right.
So he sings this and I'm like, okay.
Them lyrics a little.
Yeah,
I was listening to it.
But I like it.
Right.
Cool. We're like, fine. We buy the beat,
and of course, Brie Jolie gonna put her stamp on it. So she co-wrote.
And he's singing it, his beautiful bass baritone voice.
Yeah.
So for me, that's gonna be hot because it's like you gotta either sing the octave or we go in the studio. We're figuring it out. We lay down. I think we did both verses in one day.
One day, yeah.
Yeah, we had the first verse and we knocked the second verse out together, and that's how Truth Is was birthed.
Okay, so now Truth Is birthed, but how did you even get a record deal to even record Truth Is?
Well, I don't have a deal.
So she's independent.
Okay,
yeah, I'm independent.
Okay, you're independent.
So,
okay, shout out to do you want to be with the record label?
Ooh.
Lo about to answer for you.
Record labels are steady changing.
Okay.
So I would love to see how that plays out. And right now, indie is the best thing for me. It gives me the most control over my artistry.
Okay.
And allows me to really be creative. But y'all gotta stream the music, okay? Because that's how we get our little coin.
Okay.
That's how we get our little coin.
And where can they stream your music?
You can stream my music everywhere. Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music, iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal. All of the above.
But whether the thing I want to tap into though is like when I tell you this woman is like so professional, everything she do, she had to roll out for Truth Is. She had, tap into kind of what as a multidisciplinary artist like you had to be, because she had to, when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, right? You spend money on flyers, you spend money on
all that.
We make money to
put
support right back into
the saying is so cliche, but it's so true. You have to spend money to make money. And this one helps me, with my like decisions and like he was there every step of the way as far as Truth Is. I remember we're online trying to make our own flyer and all that. I paid for a flyer to get made and we hated it. And then, so and then
we've been through that too.
Me and him been through that too.
I've been through that with her too.
So I think that's probably why he was so patient with me, because I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it's so much.
Let me tell you
people
something.
don't even see that.
She's 10 times you, TT. She's 10 times. Yeah.
Because I was like, I got to a point where I was like, just do it. Remember I said, I mean, you get to the point, and I'm not saying that we just got money like that, but sometimes you just like, if I got to pay for it, I'm gonna pay for it. because
that is me, okay? Because at this point, it's gonna come back to me, and
right, it is.
You just invite money into your space, okay?
Yeah,
and especially when it's for yourself, it's gonna come back to you always.
Yeah, why not invest in yourself?
At that time, you don't see it, and you be like, "Whoa, my chest! I can't believe I just paid that invoice," but it's worth it. So we had been working for months, and this was quarantine.
It was quarantine. But it was crazy because like it wasn't really like kind of her showcase, but she had put on an event. It was like a really hot event in LA. Like all of the industry people were there, like right before it shut down.
You know,
so you've been networking.
Yes, we were working. Okay, so I had some old photos, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just make this be the cover. Came out, we loved it. We dropped the song, and it just kind of went from there.
It just took legs of its own. It's crazy.
And yes, I'm so proud of that song.
Organically,
I am too. Yes. I like it. So the producer
of that song is a guy named Trey B.
Okay.
Out of Atlanta. And we actually haven't like met with him physically.
Oh, wow,
it was kind of like a virtual
it was a virtual thing.
Oh wow.
Because I had found the beat like on this like app. It was Beatstar. And it really was just okay, I like this little
and
funk,
we love Kametra, and it was kind of like a boom, like a funk feel. So we were like, okay, we like this. And you know, we keep in contact with him, but it was produced by him and recorded in LA by my guy Wase.
Super Wase.
So were you when you're meeting out? Because I know people are listening, like, wow, you're just meeting these people and networking and
yes,
okay.
These have come from relationships that I've already formed.
Okay. Yeah. So now, so let me ask you this, because we have talked. I know we have.
Okay, we talk down, and I love it because we'll talk all day. Okay?
Right, because like I had a lot of questions for you. And you kind of just your journey. Like I said, you're young, and your resume is very impressive. You did Truth Is so, and it's a nice video. Go check it out. D-Lo is also in that video. Shout out to D-Lo.
I ain't in that one. I'm in the
playground.
I'm in playground. Yeah.
Oh, you're not in Truth Is?
I'm in the little fast.
He was my love interest.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't her love interest.
Well,
she was plotting. So I was trying to be her love interest, and she was plotting on me the whole time.
So you were in Playground. Okay, that's the other single, Playground. Yeah. So you're just putting the songs out independently. No album, no CD, or nothing like that. Okay.
No gimmick.
Coming soon, though?
No robot.
No, her EP is out.
Oh, okay. EP is out. So after Truth Is, it was kind of like, all right, cool. I had already had some songs that I've been working on.
Okay.
And the EP has always been on my radar. I just didn't know when. I didn't know how fast it was going to happen.
Okay.
It was just like, I know I need to put more music out.
She recorded a lot of songs for that EP that didn't even make it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there are like 4.
Are you writing on these songs?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Using it. Okay.
That girl writing, vocal producing.
You got to get the pen flexing a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And write about these real life experiences. That's how you can get yourself through some stuff.
You really can.
You know, by writing music.
Right. It's really good for you when you start writing it. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm just excited about all of the music and what's to come. You know, Truth Is so special to my heart, and it just really kind of ignited something in me. And I'm just so excited to see where this journey is going to go.
I am too for you.
And
well, let me ask you this real quick. Before we do go, I have a couple of questions for you. So what do you, now that you are where you are, and I know you want to grow, and what artists would you like to work with?
You know, right now I'm super. Before, Missy Elliott has always been an influence. Okay,
good. Shout out to Missy Elliott.
It's crazy really though.
Because you look like her to me. You remind me of her a little bit.
Everybody's so been saying that.
Everyone's been saying that.
You remind me of her, a younger version. Yeah, you do.
She's always been so amazing. Like Missy is a rapper, but she's also a producer. She can sing, and.
She does it all.
They gave her flowers last year. Finally, MTV gave her flowers for her music videos. Just like she used to be giving us art, but she's amazing.
Writing for other people, producing for other people.
Right.
I would love to work with Missy.
Okay.
Usher is one of my favorite R&B artists. As far as like new age, Lucky Day, I love Lucky Day.
Okay.
I really hate naming people because I love music so much. We were just talking about that.
Right.
And it's so many people from young to old that I could see myself working with.
Okay.
Because and music is versatile. Like even though I'm primarily an R&B artist, like I would love to work with pop
I was gonna
songwriters and
ask you that.
artists,
Yeah.
and like I would love to expand and like be on a dance or EDM record, like because they love those soulful strong vocals and to the like a techno beat, and it always hits like it slaps.
And they pay money too.
Yes, and those
them
songs
pop
go
records
crazy
go like
overseas,
especially like in the UK.
Like,
that's what a bag is.
So I would love to just really
do something
do it all,
like, versatile.
And I can, and we will,
we will
see.
Yeah,
like you have to speak that over yourself. Whatever I touch, I will be able to grow from and grow in.
Right.
So yeah,
and say your I ams.
Yes,
I am gonna be able to do this.
Affirm,
affirm.
So
yes, I always say my I ams. What I want to happen. I am this. Yes. I am a best-selling author. You are you are a best-selling vocalist, right? So let me ask you before we wrap it up, because I've had a wonderful time. I can't believe it's almost an hour. I can't even believe it.
We've been talking for that long.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. So so besides the songs, the music, we've learned all that about you. We walked on that journey. How do you see yourself? Do you tap into other people's lives? Like, do you see yourself wanting to help others? Are you helping others with their journey? Like, because I know it's people that reach out to you. You have the video, you have the songs, and they're like, girl, I'm trying to get me a video. Yes. They do that.
Yes. But just like Bree Jolie will be a brand. I'm only one person, and then I have 1,000,001 ideas. So it's just about tackling them all.
Right.
But one at a time. But Bree Jolie will be a brand. I just became an LLC in 2020, so I'm super excited about that.
All right.
And like I just want to incorporate my life into my art. You know what I'm saying? Like real life things. Like hopefully one day develop something for my Black women who are dealing with mental health issues. Like that's a huge thing. I had been in talks, and I still want to do that. There's so much going on, so I haven't had time to really focus on it. But it's a theme, and we need to talk about it and do it in a different and healthy way.
Right. Like, they don't want to talk about mental health issues. That's the last thing you hear about. I don't know if it's a culture thing. I don't know if it's an individual thing. But when I say that, it's because they don't want to talk about it.
But even with something like grieving, like people don't,
I said the same thing.
There are so many people out here,
especially
who
grieving,
are dealing with loss in different ways. Not even from someone dying, but you can grieve in
relationship, end of a relationship,
and people suppress those things. So I really would love to just one day, like, incorporate my music into that and kind of start something. I have huge dreams of just like starting, for cancer patients. Like when my mom passed, like that was my first time really being close to that. And like I have this written down in a book somewhere, and I feel like it's gonna happen soon. But just like a center for women to just, come and just get away from that for just a second, because it's so much. And women, we are strong, but going through that, battling an illness is never easy. So I would love to, and
it's crazy because like my grandmother,
that's the word, Bobby, support.
Right. My grandmother and her mom went through like their illnesses like the same way. Both of them lost their lives to cancer, and and it's just like 1 minute you diagnosed and then you down like the next 5 months.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy because I remember she was talking like to me one time. She probably don't even remember this, but she was talking to me one time about like actually like having a facility for women to like go to and just like feel beautiful.
Yeah.
Like just
because a lot of
going through that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. Like a lot of people don't know what they go through. I don't know.
Right.
I've had loss. My ex-husband died in his sleep of a heart attack. My brother-in-law, he died of cancer, but I don't know. I haven't been around a woman. So like a person like me, that would be good for me if I went there to, to see that.
Yeah.
It will educate me on what they go through.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea.
Yes.
Yes.
They had all the problems, but really I was there to have an event, and I gave them a beauty spa day.
Yeah.
And I gave them like a big old bag of like,
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just want to feel loved and feel beautiful.
Right.
Right.
Know that regardless of whatever they're going through.
Right.
The fact that somebody is actually caring.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're
Mhm.
beautiful, you're loved, and
Right.
about you.
Right.
So it's just one day, it's just that moment
Mhm.
before that somebody actually came out here.
Right.
Right.
Because in that moment they make it all about your sickness, and it's really like, okay, can I think about something else?
Right.
other than
Right, because
for
that
just a
in,
second?
that in itself, like you were talking about mental
Yeah.
health, that's depressing. 'cause
I mean,
in itself,
but I'm gonna be
so-
real with you. Like strong women,
Yeah.
my bad. But I know just with the strong women that I've seen go through cancer, like mama, she wasn't trying to let nobody know or
No.
see her. My grandmother was the same way. Like,
Really?
you know, they weren't too vocal about it. Look, I got it. We move on.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be good. God gonna take care of me.
Yeah.
But I think more of it, they didn't want others to really just worry
Yeah.
too. And I mean, it's inevitable, you know.
Yeah.
But
And I like how you talked about that's real good that y'all brought that subject up. I'm
Mhm.
glad you brought that up about mental health because when you mentioned grief, if you lose someone in your life, if it could be an ex, it can be current, no matter what, no one can put a time limit on your grief.
No.
Nowhere not to grieve
No.
long. I learned that in church. I learned
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
But that is you can't tell a person when to let go.
Mhm.
And that's good
Mhm.
because some people feel like they feel guilty for grieving long.
Yeah.
yeah.
They feel like, oh, something's wrong with them.
Mhm.
I ran into that
Yeah.
too. So I mean, with some people. So I'm glad you mentioned
Yeah.
that. That is another mental health issue.
Because that's gonna be a way for me to get myself through it too.
Yeah.
Right.
Because this is new for
But
me.
I
it
used
was-
to talk about it a lot.
What's crazy with her journey is, I think what would just drive me crazy was like you had a really low and a really high, like at the same time. It's
Mhm.
like right when my mom died, okay, now I got to be on the road. I got to be on a show. I got to travel to all these different
Yeah.
places. And a lot of
Yeah.
times, like people like, oh, you're touring, like you're with Kanye
Yeah.
West. So they
Yeah.
think, but they don't really realize
You were
like I don't get
grieving.
no
Yeah.
sleep. I'm
Yeah.
grieving. I
Sleep.
still haven't
Yeah.
worked through this.
Because you were
Like-
grieving, even if you didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Because
And-
you
but
had just lost your
Thank
mom who
God I
planted
had
the
you know
seed.
people on that gig that are like my genuine friends, and they were there for me. You know what I'm saying? In
Right.
those moments where you randomly start crying and you be like, "Oh my God, what just happened?" But you know that's a part of
Of grief.
you know, you could be fine and 2 seconds later you are bawling.
Mhm. Or
But-
you might wake up one morning.
Mhm.
It's just
Mhm.
hits you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And then like the hospital he passed away at, like that was probably like months later. And all
Yeah.
just passed by one day. And I was
Yeah. It's a trigger.
I never,
Yeah.
I didn't cry one time at my ex-husband's funeral, but my grief was also, I'm raising my daughter. She was very close to her dad.
Mhm.
I didn't cry one time. And one day, I didn't cry at all at his funeral. And one day,
Yeah.
it was when I was taking her to school because he used to pick her up from school all the time. It hit me.
Yeah.
And after that, I went through the grieving
Yeah.
process. It was like 2 months later.
Yeah.
So when I hear people when they're at funerals and they say something like, "Oh, she didn't even cry," or I'm like, "Cause it hasn't hit her,"
Mhm.
and they look at me like, I'm like, it hasn't hit her.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that's
Right?
I know
Yeah.
it's real.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all that funeral.
yeah.
I think people
I-
handle it differently.
They
yeah,
do.
it was her mom's funeral was really rough for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
okay.
extremely.
But I had
tough.
so many friends like him who he touched my mom's life and same she
vice
with him.
versa, yeah.
But that was her other son. You
Right.
know, so seeing him go through that is just like, okay, but he had his own relationship with my
Right,
mother.
right,
But-
absolutely.
Yeah.
To really just tie it all in, we need to have more conversations like this.
Absolutely,
People,
yeah.
I'm sure there are hundreds of thousands of people who are trying to deal with things they can't even identify.
Right.
And you know, we need more people, especially more people on, you know, not saying that artists and celebrities and things don't use their platform for good, because
Right.
a lot do.
Right,
A lot of them
right.
do.
Mhm.
But more of us need to do it.
Right.
More of us need to do it. There's
It
never
needs
a
to be
limit.
more intention.
It needs to be
Mhm.
more intention behind it, not just so we can take a selfie on social media and be like, yes, doing this for the world mental health. We need to have these
It has to
raw,
be
you know what I'm
genuine.
saying, genuine.
We need
and-
to feel
yes.
free to talk about it. That's why
and get our
I
people together.
yeah,
you know?
that's why I talk about it, because my ex-husband was the closest thing to me that I
Mhm.
lost. So I talk about it.
Yeah.
And he was still my family because we had a daughter together.
Yeah.
Right.
You and when you brought up mental health, I watched my sister with my brother-in-law. It was
Mhm.
cancer.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, and I hope, and I'll help you.
Yeah.
However,
Listen.
we can work together.
We can do
That
it.
is something that people really need to stop playing with. Like, that is nothing to play with mental
No,
health. Like, if
it's
you're gonna do
not.
it, if you're gonna help somebody, help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You,
like-
you never know.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's
You never
even
know.
seen it with me too, so I think she's
Yeah.
been like
Yes.
more of an advocate.
And we've
now.
talked. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If you're gonna be an advocate, be an advocate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is-
And no,
been great.
she definitely practices what she preaches
Right.
as well. Like I've seen so much growth in her, like just when it comes to like her. It was like when the thing happened with mom, it was like, okay. And then like now with your artistry, I think you're thinking more about, especially like your community wise now.
Yeah.
And so I really like, I'm appreciative of indie artists like you that are more community based, because that's literally how she's tapping into other people's lives. Like she has a community of people that, you know, she either rings in with her or she said, and she don't even be realizing it sometimes.
Yeah.
She don't even be realizing it.
And I gotta say this, mom is definitely proud of you because you are doing what she wanted you to do.
Yes.
You should be extremely proud of yourself.
Yes.
Right.
You should be. I
she-
know the dark.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The dark, the hard times, like you were saying, the discouraging, those D words, the depression, all that comes along with it. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I know it with my book. We want more than what we want to be further than what we are now. And in time we will be, you know, it's about timing.
Yes.
His time.
His exactly.
And
It's all
trusting
about
your
timing.
own journey.
Yeah.
Please trust your own journey. Please trust your own journey. Please trust your own journey. Like I can't
Is that
stress
what
that
you would
enough.
tell some? Yeah, I was going to say before we close. Tell everyone where they can on social media, where they can follow you, where they can get the music from. Brijolie.
Instagram at the Bree Jolie Show. TheBriJolieshow. The Bree Jolie Show. I'm very active on Instagram. You can find my music on all platforms. All my visuals and videos on YouTube. My recent single, the Christmas song, produced by my boy Timmy Manson. Amazing
What you got
producer.
coming up next? What Bridget?
Man, we got some
because
stuff.
the pandemic kind of put you on a.
It
No,
did,
no.
The
pandemic didn't slow up that Brijolie train at all.
The pandemic, that was
she
me.
coming.
That's me. You like
that
me?
girl
I'm like,
sitting on content.
Right,
You know,
we're like, this actually gave me time to
it's like a campfire. You know, you got to keep adding to make it grow, and it dies down. But you got to keep putting that stuff in there. You know, a little paper, a little wood, a little, you know, to make the fire bigger, so it can keep growing and keep, you know, spreading. So 2021, I'm so excited. More music on the way, more visuals. I love a visual. Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all
definitely gonna
please
get
go to YouTube, subscribe to my
videos.
YouTube, Bree Jolie, where you can find all my videos. But I love a visual. So more visuals coming up, more just, you know, what we talked about. Thank you for helping me remember.
Shout out to
you know, plans that I had. You know, now you know it's
prayers
like
that you prayed for years ago.
working on that stuff little by little. So we gonna come back probably 2 years from now and be like, yep, you know, we're cutting the ribbon on our center. Okay, so you know,
anyone
who wants
Tuesday
gonna be there.
Just doing more of that, okay, and just being a part of great things like this. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely, thank you. And you know something, I want before I close. Thank you for coming. Shout out to Bobby, who I always say shout out to.
Bobby.
Thank you so much, Bobby. Lo, I love him dearly. I call him my nephew. He's been a true blessing. You know, sometimes you don't know how you're going. I didn't know how I was going to do this, but he was right there at the right time.
Stand-up guy.
Talk
right
about
here.
timing. I was thinking there. I said, that's why we work so well together. I mean, it all comes together. But I do want to play a little bit of your music.
Which one? What you trying
I
to
do.
play?
I love. She has a great Christmas song. It's called the Christmas song.
Yeah.
There's many versions of this song. We heard a little bit about it at the beginning of Tap In Tuesdays.
You want to play the Christmas song?
What you want to play?
Yeah, let's play it. Let's play
a little bit of it. Let y'all hear it. You can come in to watch the show Tap In Tuesdays every other Tuesday on YouTube. Tap In Tuesdays with Kametra. I'm your girl, Kametra. Just want to tell you, I'm on all platforms. I'm on Instagram, Kametra Lakel. Don't forget to get the book, Secrets in the Sanctuary, on Amazon, 5 stars.
Yes.
Go to YouTube, subscribe, like the channel. Again, Bree Jolie.
Thank you for having me.
And that's her music you hear. Go and support. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Tap In Tuesday with Kametra. Bye-bye. I like that.
Yeah.